Welcome to AM Excellence 60 Actions, Not Words. A minute late because I started recording and realized that it was set to only me and you couldn't see what I was saying. So, AM Excellence 60 Actions, Not Words. Again, we are reading the book Above the Line, Lessons in Leadership and Life from a Championship Season by Urban Meyer, successful football coach. He uses this phrase, this term, above the line behavior, to talk about that behavior that he, I, you, we aim to execute on a daily basis. The behavior that's going to take us to where we want to go. And Urban Meyer starts this chapter talking about habits. And habits for me, I read a book. This is a book to note. It's called The Power of Habit. Prior to reading this book, I never considered my habits. I just went through my daily actions, did what I did, went to bed, got up the next day, did the same thing. And then I read this book, The Power of Habit, and it really got me to break down every single thing I did in my day, in my life. So I would encourage you, today, hit pause. The title of this video, AM Excellence 60, is Actions, Not Words. Take note of your habits. What are they? Did you sleep in? Did you get up early? Did you drink soda? Did you drink water? Did you read? Did you talk smack on people? Did you, at work, did you find yourself checking Facebook all the time, Twitter, etc.? Those are your habits. And he goes on to say that every day you are creating or reinforcing habits in your life. The question is, are they habits that help or habits that hold you back? And this goes back to what he said, what I agree with. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And another thing to note here, and this is kind of a little bit technical. Urban Meyer talks about this behavior above the line, and you can adapt this and process it to your life however you see fit. You can keep one of these bullet points, get rid of them all. But he says above the line behavior is intentional, on purpose, and skillful. So if you live your day intentionally, skillfully, and on purpose, that's above the line behavior. That'll take you to where you want to go. Below the line behavior, impulsive, on autopilot, and resistant. Are you acting impulsively? Are you on autopilot, just going through your day? And are you resistant to the change or to the opportunities, the challenges that are coming your way? Okay, so that's the first technical part. Moving on. He goes on to talk about this thing about skill and talent. And skill and talent is a subject in and of itself. But he goes on to say, elite performers are the ones who are relentless about building skill beyond their talent. Talent is a gift. Greatness is a choice. Talent is a gift. Greatness is a choice. Now, I touched on this yesterday, this idea that we're all born as human beings. We all have natural talents that we're born with, but it's the skill that's developed through hard work that sets the best of the best from the good or the great. So good, great, best of the best. And as an athlete, and I'm sure any athletes out there listening or watching can attest to this, you would always see the kids, and this is especially in growing up elementary, even in college. Because by the time you get to the Olympics and the professional sports, the talented but not hardworking and focused people they're no longer there. They couldn't keep up with the rest of the pack. But you would always see these like athletes full of talent that when they're pushed, when they're truly pushed against other kids who are talented and skillful, the just talented, they go by the wayside. It's the true people who may have the talent, but more importantly have the focus and the skill and the dedication and the purpose to get where they want to go that rise above the rest. He goes on to say, exceptional performance is the result of an uncommon level of focus and discipline in the pursuit of greatness. Build skill every day and consistently get better. Be coachable. Build skill every day. So I would ask you, there's a lot of people watching here that come from different walks. I know there's a coach. I know I'm looking at some of the different people here. I know there's a politician, if you would say. I know there's a teacher. My wife just tuned in. So I would say build skill every day. How can you actively build skill in whatever you're doing? Case in point, the way I'm building skill every single day is by making these videos. Because every single day before I hit live, I come to the realization that I'm going to be live on camera in front of people. That's what I want to do for a living, on a stage in front of 10,000 people. And the way that I build that skill every single day in my little office here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, is by doing this. That's how I'm building skill. Reading every single day, doing basically reps in my mind, in my brain, to build this encyclopedia of information that when I'm talking, it can just come out of my mouth. That's how I'm building skill. I would ask you, how are you building skill? How can you build skill? And if you honestly don't know, send me an email and I'll help you figure it out. He goes on to say, embrace discomfort. Discomfort marks the place where the old way meets the new way. Discomfort indicates that change is about to happen. Push through the pain. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. I don't know how to say this perfectly. If it doesn't challenge you, it will not change you. If you win all the time, you're a winner, everything's great, it gets to a point where you're just on autopilot, the below the line behavior. Embrace discomfort. You win, you lose, you get slapped in the face, you get back up, you make a lot of money, you lose a lot of money. Embrace that change and that discomfort, or as I call it, uncomfortability, because if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Steve Young, I mentioned in yesterday's video, he loved that tunnel that was walking out to Candlestick Park into this crowd of tens of thousands of raging fans who expected things out of him. That's uncomfort. That's discomfort. He embraced it because to get to the other side, you have to go through it. And you can't gain the insight and perspective and growth without going through that. I know there's at least one person watching here who took his challenge, embraced it. It still stinks terribly, but he embraced it, did something about it, is about to publish a book about it, and has an awesome podcast about it. Success Through Failure. Check it out. And continuing on, he goes to talk about leadership. This book is about leadership. And as I mentioned, you know, when you think of leadership, you think of other people. You think of, you know, big, tough people in front of a crowd full of, you know, an arena full of tens of thousands of people. But leadership starts with you. And he talks about that. He says that when you're a leader, everyone's watching you. Not just a leader of a team. As a parent, you're a leader. Your kids are watching you. Your neighbors are watching you. Everyone's listening to you. And he goes on to say, how could I lead my players if I couldn't lead myself? Actions, not words. How could I lead my players if I couldn't lead myself? Actions, not words. This is very cool. He said, we have a saying that is fundamental to what we do. He says, I see better than I hear. Actions, not words. I see better than I hear. Andrew Luck, who's an NFL quarterback, very good NFL quarterback, he says, Andrew Luck told me, your actions are so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. Your actions are so loud, I cannot hear what you're saying. Sometimes we express it another way. Don't give me theory, give me testimony. We are not measured by our intentions, but by our actions. Don't give me theory, give me testimony. And what I'm doing now, I stress this all the time. Yes, I love the fact that I'm motivating or inspiring or can make you feel good about yourself, but I want to take it a step further. This is how you do it. Give me testimony, not theory. So as Urban Meyer has developed his system, as I've developed my system, I encourage you all to develop your system as well. Map out what makes you tick. Map out what you value, the philosophies, the strategies, because that's the substance that will actually enact change in your life. He says, so they had a terrible football game where they got their butt kicks on national television. Everyone wanted change, and he goes in their coaching situation. They wanted him out. They wanted his assistants out, and he goes on to say that don't make change because of the pressure from the outside. Make it because it needs to be made. Don't just answer the call to the mindless, faceless people out there and in the world, the Twitter world. Make it because it should happen. He says, adversity afflicts us all at some point, and I believe what I did after the Virginia Tech game, that's the game they got their butts kicked, is the most effective course of action for a leader. Go right at it, as hard as you can. Size up the situation and deal with it. Go right at it, as hard as you can. Size up the situation and deal with it. This goes back to the tunnel, walking right through it, As Steve Young says, this goes back to the idea of embracing uncomfortability, which is our unofficial slogan at A Fighter's Mindset. And it goes back to that idea that I'm no more special than Urban Meyer, than you, than the next guy, than the challenges my daughter will incur when she's older and my son when he's older. It's the same for all of us. And I'll tap it off with this. Event, and this is coming straight from the book, the event plus the response equals your outcome. What happens to you, how you respond to it, dictates the outcome, where you go from there. Get knocked out, event. Response, you're going to run that way, you're going to run that way, you're going to run away from Twitter when everyone's telling you how terrible you are, or you're going to attack it head on. That, my friends, is AM Excellence 60 Actions, Not Words. I appreciate you tuning in. I encourage you all visit charlie-brenneman.com. Check out podcasts, all kinds of awesome stuff going on there. And that's it, mis amigos. Que los pasen bien y hablamos mañana a las 6 de la mañana. I will see you all tomorrow for AM Excellence 61 at 6 in the morning. Take care.